Okay, today I'm going to talk about a little bit about making zucchini chips. And a lot of times you'll let your zucchini grow too big in the garden, or people will have these like humongous zucchini. This one was like, I swear it was like 18 inches long. You can see how big around it was, bigger than 3 inches in diameter. And sometimes they just lay around there and get kind of hidden in your patch, and you can't see them. And a lot of people say, well, they're not as good to eat that way, but honestly I think you can make chips out of them and they're great. So what I've done, I've just sliced up a zucchini. You can see you're probably less than 1/4 inch in thickness, and I'm actually soaking them right now in the slight saline water. I want the salt to kind of get on them a little bit, and I cut a bunch of them, a stack of them in half, so when I go to my food dehydrator I can place them, and the half ones can go into the kind of the crooks and corners, and I'll show you how that goes here in a minute. So what I'm going to do, I'm not even going to cook these. These are going to be no-cook zucchini chips, and I'll show you what they look like later. And they're really good. So I've washed my hands, I washed the zucchini, soaking them just for about 5 minutes in some salt water. And I'm going to take them out to the dehydrator. I'm just going to kind of dab them off so they're not totally wet when I go into the dehydrator with these. I'm going to take a paper towel and just take it and place it like that on the paper towel to get the water off, but there'll still be some salt on it and give it some flavor. And then I'm going to put them in the dehydrator, and it takes about 8 hours to come out with a really nice chip that's never even been cooked, so all the vitamins should be intact, and it's actually very tasty. So if you have these big zucchini that that you don't know what to do with, you think maybe they're too big to cook, and don't throw them away, don't give them away, don't say, oh crap, I'll let those go too far. Take them, make chips out of them. They're fantastic, I promise. Very healthy. Out at my dehydrator, I've let the zucchini kind of soak in some salt water for a while, and I'm going to really spice these up. I'm going to use some pepper powder. This is powder that I make from bell peppers and jalapenos, and so I'm going to put some of that on here too. First I'm going to kind of just dab them a little bit, get the water off, and I'm going to like just dust this real lightly. These will make these spicy chips here. So you can see what I'm doing there. So they're salty. They've got just a slight amount of salt on them. I'm going to pepper these a little. I'm going to place them in. I'm going to place a few that don't have. I'll pepper these maybe after the fact. I'll show you why I cut some of them in half there in a minute, so the half ones can fit in these holes like this. And so I am getting ready to have a really excellent bunch of zucchini chips that I can take for snacks, and they have almost 0 calories. Not quite 0 calories naturally, but almost. Let's just do them this way here. This is very well dried jalapeno and bell pepper that I've ground up with a Crut coffee grinder. So there's one layer. There's the second one. They're not going to be too bad. Just dab them a little bit. Just makes them where they don't have quite so much moisture that we have to combat when we're doing the drying stage. I shook it off pretty good. And I won't belabor this. We'll put this row on there, and then I'll go and I'll show you what they look like when they're finished. And a few more halves probably. Okay. Let's dust those with some pepper powder. I like having the spices on them. Gives it a nice little bell pepper and jalapeno flavor. Alright, now I'm going to do that for the rest of the racks, and I'll show you just in a moment what they look like. Okay, so this is what they end up looking like. I'll pull it up there close so you can see. Now this is not, I didn't put any pepper on that, that's just salt. But they get real dry and real crisp. Just like a potato chip. And man, it got a great little flavor. And they, like I said, have not been cooked at all. And you'd be really surprised how actually kind of sweet a zucchini is. That actually has a slightly sweet and salty flavor. And you just can't beat that for a snack. So try this at home if you got zucchini. I'm using a very nice food dehydrator I got off of Amazon, I think, for about 60 bucks. And it uses very little energy. That's a good way to take your big zucchini you don't know what to do with and make something really